Firebrand Studios 801 presents self-awareness, healing, coping, breakthrough, taking back your God-given power. Slayer's Redemption Chronicles personified from bondage to breakthrough. Hosted by Prolific Tay and Tiff. Where we come to heal or die trying. Hello, world. Welcome back to another episode of Slayer's Redemption Podcast. It's me and my girl Tiff. We are here with episode 6, y'all. Take your own advice. Okay? All right. How you feeling on this lovely hump day, Tiff?
I'm here.
Period. Present. You're present?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this topic resonated with me today, guys. Like, today has been a day. Like, mentally, it's been a day. Like, processing things and taking in the journey of healing and sustaining and staying goal oriented and focused for me. And I really want to share with you guys today on how I have learned to lovingly take my own advice. Okay? Because it plays back into my episode of Stop the Negative Thoughts. Because you can give yourself advice, like that voice in your head, you can give yourself advice, and it may not be the right advice. It may be negative, it may be intrusive thoughts, it may be negative thoughts, and I would just say first, like, for me, I had to really start being kind to myself in the way I think. Really, really kind and tender and soft with myself in the way that I think towards me, towards my goals, my admirations, my purpose in life, like things that God put on you. And, as we said before, it's time to make it flourish. It's time to bring it to the front of your life, So first step was for me to start being kind to myself. And then when I started being kind to myself, then reality set in for me, because I'm quick. I've been quick to give advice to my friends. We're all friends, co-workers. Like, I am one of those people, like, I could be standing in a check cashing place, a grocery store, an airport, on an airplane, a train, a metro link, a bus stop, and people will talk to me. All of encountering me for maybe 5 minutes, I probably will learn what's been going on in their life in the past 15, 20 years, depending on the age of the person. They just talk to me. They open up. And all the time, I haven't been in a position to where I can really receive my own advice. As I was just like researching for material to just have like talking points for the show today, I came across a phrase that said, and I want to make sure I quote this right. It says, if a hurting heart only matters when it's beating outside of my own rib cage. So when I had to, it took me like 15 minutes to let that settle in for myself. And this was on today, guys. On today. So I can be empathetic and I can really, really care when I hear like my friends or my family member or coworkers or somebody that's close to me, when I can hear it in their voice and what they're saying, like their heart is hurting. And it matters so much to me that I will convey or do my best to convey like words of affirmation or some good advice or some real strong woman shit to say to another woman or even to a man. And I had to learn to, like, in that. And over the months, really since my surgery that I had last year, I've been healing physically, mentally and emotionally, and it has not been pretty and it has not been easy. But I will say this: I've learned to let some of my own advice resonate before I even speak it. I let it resonate with myself first before I even speak to anyone, or even if my friends, like sometimes like they'll text me and they may say something. Now I listen. I listen, I process it before I give some advice, because I want to make sure that when it's when it comes across the communication, that it's coming up from a place of love and understanding and empathy, not a place of superiority. I am guilty at times for like projecting to my friends sometimes. And I don't know if it could be like I had to decipher between the two, whether or not it was a place of empathy or it was a place of superiority, because I feel like it's a hurdle that I've already jumped over, or it's an emotion that I feel like I've handled,
Mm.
or not even just recognizing that we're human, and all the time when we moving forward, it doesn't mean that we don't have thoughts that take us back to say like emotions and behaviors that are bringing back up. And so instead of giving out certain type of advice, you have to really, really, really make sure you do it without deflecting. I had to learn that. And I also had to just make sure that I was being real and not just at a place of like, because I'm really in my body and I'm not really showing it. And so I'm coming off a little bit too rough, or I could be judgmental, negating the fact that we are all human. We all have traumas and things that we're healing from. What you think, too?
I think for me, because I tend to be the person people come to for advice or counsel. I was terrible at taking my own advice. I would give really good advice and then do crazy shit in my own life. Um, and I think what it really came down to for me was three things. Um, One, I was a people pleaser, and so the things I was doing in my own life was to please other people. Um, I didn't want people to be mad at me. Um,
Hey, Sugar. Thanks for joining us on this evening.
Raymond.
Happy to have you.
Um,
Okay, there you go, Tia.
right, right. I saw mine. You ain't have
Oh, okay, babe.
to tell me. Uh, uh, the second is, and this is where the bulk of it lies, and where I really had to work through it in therapy was, am I moving? Am I moving out of anxiety, or am
Mm.
I truly following my intuition? And for me, it was learning the difference between the two. And so I've been trying to be better about following my own advice. But when I heard this, I automatically thought intuition. Um, I've been trying to be better about discerning between the two. And so for me, like my anxiety is consistent, it is constant, it is rooted in fear.
Mm.
Uh,
And
my
what is it? And what is it that we fear?
It could be anything. I'll give you an example. So I had to drive to Mississippi for this family reunion. Had a wonderful time. Smooth drive, no problems. All right. A month leading up to this trip, slowly but surely, people started to drop off, people that were helping me drive. And so we get to the week of the trip, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to drive all by myself. Damn, I'm gonna have to like drive. The bulk of this drive is on me, gang.
Yeah, I'm about to have to do this 12 plus.
It's on me, gang. So that week, it was like, don't do it, don't go. You don't need to be driving that long by yourself. Your knee fucked up. What about this? What about that? This could happen. That could happen. That was the whole week. The day before, I was like, okay, Tiffany, I'm psyching myself out of driving.
So you just trying to psych yourself just to pull out
At
completely.
this point, I'm ready. Like, I can't do it. I can't go. I don't know. I'll eat the money for the rental. I'll eat the money like, I didn't spend money already.
You ready to just flush it?
Right. Just like, fuck it. Fuck it. The day before, I knew. I'm like, this is anxiety. It's fucking with me. Sit, breathe, ground. What is your gut saying? We'll be fine.
Yeah.
You're gonna regret not going. All right. Once I made that discernment, it was easy to move. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, that's what taking my own advice has looked like. It's following my intuition, listening to my gut. Um, my therapist, God bless her, she makes me do a check in because
Okay.
I I spend a lot of time up here, and so it's a head, heart, gut check to see where everything is at. How you feeling? How's your
Yeah.
head? What's your head saying? What's your heart saying? What's your gut saying? If they're in alignment, cool. Sometimes I know I need to take the head out the equation. That bitch.
Cause I was about to say, cause sometimes my head don't be on the same track, man.
So this is where I had to really this is the key part of this, right? It requires you really being in tune with your body and reconnecting with your body. A
Mm.
lot of my personal trauma has been tied to my body, which makes it easy for me to get up out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't gotta be in this part. I
Yeah.
can be up here.
I can be up here. I don't. This has completely nothing to do because I'm going. Yeah. Because when I'm up here, I can make the decision.
I got a little more control.
Yeah. I get. You hear me? I can make the decision.
Yep. Or that's the illusion.
Yeah. That definitely like they had them damn balloons ready to pop the balloon. That's the illusion.
Illusion.
Pop.
Uh, so it really did require a lot of work with myself, and I'm a lot of work that I'm still doing because I don't feel like I'm there yet. With myself to reconnect with my body and to listen to my body when it's talking to me and it's telling
Mm-hmm.
and not just this is hurt or this is fucked up, but it's like that feeling in my stomach is there for a reason. It's telling me something.
Yeah.
Listen to it. What is it trying to tell me in this situation? My heart fluttering, that's happening for a reason. What is it? What is it trying to tell me? Um, it's it's difficult. I'm not there yet at all, but we're working on it.
We working on it. We working on it. And in light of it being Leo season right now, you know, us Leos, because this is I'm included. Okay, I've learned. I've learned some of my self-defeating character traits that comes with my zodiac sign. Yes, I'm into astrology, and yes, I be on it, and yes, I think it resonates with me and everybody else. I don't care if you want to agree or not, but it okay. So it's like for me at times, like I read some as I was researching for more points for tonight's show, I came across something and it says there is a difference between prescribing and empathizing, and sometimes the former is entirely self-serving.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, honest advice that benefits everyone comes from a place of compassion and humility. Before you start giving or trying to take your own advice, ask yourself, is this coming from a place of love or superiority? And I had to let that sit on me because I've had run-ins with my friends at work to work, probably even me and you, sister, where I had to bend the block and come back and apologize because I could have been intrusive or overstepping or that advice I needed to take from my damn self. And in that moment, I was coming from a place of superiority because I was feeling some type of weight already. Meaning that my heart and my soul were one place, but this mind up here
Was in a whole other place.
was off being a baby kid, telling Holiday, yelling, Holiday, I got the bike type.
Right.
That's what it was given. The mind be over here, the heart and the soul be looking at the mind like come back. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, and it's like, can you really, really empathize with giving your advice to someone who seemingly seems like a hamster on the wheel? Like they keep repeating the same thing, they keep saying the same thing, they keep doing the same shit. Like, can it actually wholeheartedly come from a place of empathy, or is it going to automatically be a place of superiority?
So what I have learned, because this is my pet peeve, is don't come keep asking me advice about the same shit. Um, what I have learned is most of the times when people ask you for advice, what they're just looking for is someone to listen and vent. And so I try to ask when I remember because I'm
What if
slow.
you don't want to hear that shit?
Then just say that. Oh, I'm quick to tell you I don't got the capacity to do this today.
Okay.
I understand you're going through something, but I can't. Like I don't got the mental space for someone to vent. And most of my friends have gotten really good at asking first.
Mm. Touche.
Because I've had to do it a couple of times. Like, nope, I can't do it today. Not today. Sorry.
Like now, yeah. And then today, as I was like I said, today was kind of a drag for me. Like mentally, I was kind of trying to catch up with my heart and my soul. And I sat back and I thought about you. I thought about you, bitch. And I said, "Is this how Tiffany feel?" Because I did not feel like doing my project management classes. I wanted to. I did not feel like doing the show tonight. I really want to. But did I feel like being social? No. And I never, me, not like, I really realized,
Now you see how I be feeling all the time. Like I don't necessarily want to talk to people. I will.
right. And I didn't understand that until today.
Yeah. Like
Because
it's what society expects of me. So
I'm constantly processing my thoughts and how it affects my life today and moving forward. So, and with me going through, like I've already stated in previous episodes, like I've suffered from depression for a very very long time, and then when it creeps up on me, now I try to process it instead of sitting in it. I need to process it, and then I've had to learn to be okay with what I come up with, because what I came up with today was just like, I don't want to be social.
like today is just one of them days. I
Like,
just
yeah, and I'm like, and I'm not lacking the motivation. Like I tried to, like my mind tried to play on me, like, girl, you don't feel like doing all this damn reading and video lectures and taking notes and like, you know what I mean? Like you, but I'm like, then the other part of me was like, okay, bitch, why not, girl? Because take your time, but don't waste your time. And you're in between jobs right now, so you don't have anything else to do but be productive. So once I got over that and I was reading and gliding along and highlighting and taking notes and recording and passing the practice quizzes and the graded quizzes, even though the practice quiz are only for points, you get an actual grade average when it comes to graded quizzes. So as I'm steady going, I'm like, okay, so this is fine. I did everything on my to-do list. So now, like, what is it? I didn't have the capacity to be social, especially for any bullshit. Anything negative, anything stupid to me that doesn't make sense, or it's not my business. It has nothing to do with me. It's not gonna make me any money. It's not gonna do anything for my children, my grandbabies, the people that's close to me, my brand, my podcast, my class, and that's okay.
right.
See, I would force myself instead of sitting with myself. I would force myself. I would get to calling people and FaceTiming because I need somebody else's monkey show to distract me from what I got going on up here.
It could just be a bad day. That's
Okay,
what it
because
is.
bad bitches have bad days too.
Right.
That part. I had to realize that. And I'm like, and then I woke up and it's like, I woke up this morning. I'm like, okay, God, thank you. You did your big one because I'm here. And then all of a sudden, just one little thing kind of like set me off. I'd rather not say on the show, but something just like with the human, having a human experience, had thought about you again with the human experiences. Human experiences have became a bit much for me here lately.
See,
Especially once I had to check myself because I've had some things transpire in my life over the past few months that were out of my control. And see, for me, normally my storms are self-inflicted. So when now things are starting to happen now, as I walk upright and I keep a grasp on my mental, things are just happening in a domino effect. So now it's like, oh, okay, so this is the part of life where you have to be still and trust God and all of the things because
Not always.
and and all of the things because normally, truth be told, I'm my worst enemy on any day.
And it's boring. Like,
Boring.
but it's peaceful.
Very peaceful.
Like, I'm glad y'all starting to really join the ministry of mind my business and leave me the fuck alone.
You
Uh,
know what? Not too much in front of people.
okay.
All right?
But I
Because I
think
will give you your flowers, Gyra.
I
As
think
my
more of us
friend,
should do it.
as my friend for almost 10 years, you have really taught me the meaning of boundaries. Like, Gyra, don't bring that shit over here, Gyra. Not today, Gyra. You all over the place, Miss Ma'am, and you just really need to pull it together. And Tiffany, I, I don't have the space for this. I can't do it. And even when you're going through your own shit, it has nothing to do with anybody else. I had to learn that. You, as my friend, taught me that. Like, I'm texting my friend, she's not texting me back. I'm calling my friend, she's not answering. Lord have mercy. What happened? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean?
But that goes back to me um taking my own advice and doing what I need to do to ensure that I'm good, that I stay level.
Facts. Because certain responses can be catastrophic. Sometimes, even with advice, some advice is better left unsaid.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's best, I've learned, to just not say anything at all. I've learned in this past season, in these past 2 months, don't overstep. Don't just insert yourself because how you can view somebody, they may not view you that way in their life. You may not hold that position. And then when you insert yourself or you say something harmless, it can offend them and then it can make you feel some type of way.
Hmm.
Like being in people's personal life and inner space is something that is precious these days because it's so much craziness going on in the world, honey. My boy done got pulled over in Maryland Heights, Missouri, early this morning, and they got him for a traffic summons, saying he had X pills on his person. And baby, they done took him to jail and booked him, baby, and couldn't wait to put his picture all across Real STL News, VOP News, the Shade Room. I know you seen your boy.
Okay, bitch. So go back, rewind, because first
Yeah, and he need to start
you
taking
said
his
no,
own damn
stop.
advice. I'm
You
going back.
said my boy, and I'm like, girl, what friend is this? And bitch, you talking about Nelly?
That's
I'm
my
not.
boy.
I'm not. I'm not. Secondly, what is Nelly 50-year-old ass doing with ecstasy and his wife and his
Well,
feet?
baby, we don't
His
wait. Well,
leg?
we not gonna judge him for his extracurricular activity.
It's not the activity; it's the timing. Sir, what are you doing?
I mean, I don't know. He had to. It was 4:35 in the morning.
Oh,
Okay,
he was already off one of them.
already off one of them. Huh? They was so high they weren't even paying attention to the fact that they in Maryland Heights riding in tent with no insurance. Okay, we talking about Maryland Heights, sis. We talking about the suburb of the suburbia in Missouri. Okay,
I saw that. I kept scrolling. I mind my business. I was like,
baby. But the fact that they got his picture plastered all across, and when he got booked, I know he sat there in his mind and said, "I need to start taking my own damn advice."
look at that. Okay.
It goes back to taking my own advice. And that is a clear example because he's a St. Louis native. He knows how it goes in our city and and he knows how it goes in the suburbs of St. Louis City, St. Louis, us, in Missouri. You out here with methamphetamines, okay? You got a newborn baby with your 50-year-old ass at home, and you are riding with somebody who don't got insurance, who is it? Who's the driver? And why were y'all in Maryland Heights at damn near 5 o'clock in the morning? Goes back to taking your own advice. Okay? Sometimes not taking your own advice will put you in a position that your clout, your name, your status can't get you out of.
Mm-hmm.
Not listening to yourself, because I bet you, whenever when they got in that car and wherever they was going at 4:35 in the morning, something told Nelly to sit down.
Your old asshole.
Something said, "Not go. I'm just gonna sit this one out, man." You know what I'm saying? Something told him no, but he did it, and look what happened.
You need to go home to your family,
Now
sir.
they don't even they haven't even mentioned the driver at all. This man wasn't even driving.
We got Nelly. I thought he was driving, see?
Wasn't
But
even
again,
driving.
I just scrolled. I just kept scrolling. I didn't look very deep.
Baby, he wasn't even driving. This goes back. Let me bring it back to the subject point at hand. And I'm sure that whoever it was a close confidant, and I'm pretty sure Nelly dropping jewels because he 50 years old now. He happy. Him and Ashanti back together. He done knocked her down. Hopefully marriage is coming. Like he feeling like he feeling up. But it goes back to feeling up and still doing shit in your own personal life. Now you exposed. Cause Nelly, what are you doing with it? Like what's to it? I'm about sick of y'all and these damn X pills. I'm not gonna lie. At this point, people are using them to be happy. To be happy and to just float on and just, you know, because
No,
it's not catching anymore like the Bob. I mean, I get it. It's a party drug. Okay. But just on a regular smuggler Wednesday, what's up?
you ain't got work.
Just a regular smuggler Wednesday?
Like, bitch, I have things to do tomorrow. Like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? You know? And it's like, see, we just got to really start taking our own damn advice. You understand what I'm telling you? Because the moment that they realized it was Cornell Haynes in that car, baby, they plastered that man
Jesus,
all over the internet. He probably made the news in St. Louis.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he made the local news in St. Louis.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Embarrassing. We got to take our own advice. And then it's like sometimes when you're trying to give advice or even taking your own advice, what do you do when it's the painful truth? How do you tell your friend or somebody close to you that's hanging on to your every word in that moment some real shit?
Um, for me, it boils down to: is it my truth to tell?
Come on.
Um, because I used to have that bad. Like, and it's not my realization to have. It's not my truth to realize, and it's not my truth to tell. So even though I may see it, and I can gently, make suggestions. Um,
What do you mean by gently?
so gently for me is, and what I have had to resort to is, I'm only gonna say something once. So like, I'm not a fan of repeating myself. Let's start there. But I'm only gonna say it once. I'm gonna point it out once when you're in the mood for, um how do I phrase it? Um, are you looking to vent or are you looking for solutions? And if you give me the okay to go into solution mode, I'm gonna give you solutions. They may not be all that, some of them may be some hard truths. But I'm only doing that because you gave me the go to go there. So like, and by hard truth, I don't mean it doesn't have to be delivered harshly. Um, but that's not what I'm saying. But I'm only gonna say it once. I'm not gonna keep repeating the same shit over and over again. And again, it's not for me to get. It's your life. You not figuring it out don't impact my life. I can and this has a lot to do with me again. One of my coping mechanisms was taking on other people's shit and other
Mm.
people's problems.
Does that girl, Tiffany, today?
Yeah,
Just
no,
just as I said earlier, instead of me sitting in what I needed to sit in to get through, I was ready to start FaceTiming people and calling people and texting people, trying to figure out my now.
I realized a lot of people came to me for help because they knew I would make their problem my problem.
Mm.
You're going to work very hard to help me find a solution. And it was out of love, but it was also a deflection from myself. And so I have to make while me saying I'm not going to repeat myself and I only say something once sounds harsh, it is a boundary I have created for myself.
Mhm.
If I say it once and you didn't hear me, and it could be that you wasn't in the place to hear me, I need to take that for what it is
Yeah,
and let you do you. And when it's time for you to stumble upon your truth, as I have stumbled upon my truth many times, you will. But it ain't always for me to highlight. It's not always for me to illuminate. It's not always for me to fix. It's
understand.
not. It's not for me to carry. And so, yeah, that's a very detached way of looking at it. But it's how I've had to move for my sanity.
Why do you feel like it's a detached way? It sounds healthy. It sounds healthy to me.
It it feels healthy to me, but it's not.
Does it feel self-serving?
It is very much self-serving. That is
Okay.
something I've had to come to terms with. Like
Mhm.
it needs to be right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
It needs to be. That's that's the title of this arc.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I think about over the years, all the times I've had to tell my friends to choose themselves or to think about themselves or to rest and to take care of yourself and how many times I've neglected my own needs in it at the same time.
Like I'm telling you this, but I'm not actually implementing it in my own life.
Like I'm terrible at doing it myself, but I know it's the thing to do. I know it's the right thing to do.
I know
Like
that hurting heart that's outside of my own rib cage. I want to stroke it and rub it and be tender to it while I'm falling apart over here.
right, which is also can be self-serving in itself. Um
Yeah.
for the ego. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So like I real life had to start being like, okay, bitch, one,
One.
um, I'm a Virgo. We know how to make it look good, regardless of what we're going through.
Same.
Right. So I've had to learn to walk authentically and
Mm.
be authentic about how I'm feeling. And then in turn, like instead of showing up, like you said, in superiority, like I'm doing the thing, look at how I make it look. Be like,
Yeah.
I'm struggling. Like you asked me today, how you doing? I'm here. I'm here. It's a day.
And I kind of paused, and you was like, "Bitch, I'm here." I don't know, but like,
What else you're looking for? I'm
what
here.
are you looking for? And you know what? Same. Agreed.
I'm here. Like
Yeah.
it's a day. Like
Blessed to
very,
be here. God did his big one, but
yeah,
I'm here. And I
very,
had to realize, for me, extra happy, extra go lucky, that success does not always feel great on a daily basis. It's actual. It's actually the fucking opposite of feeling like thriving to be successful and more than financially stable, like living in abundance, just have overall joy. It's hell getting to it and getting through it.
I would argue it's not success that is not joyful. It's what we deem as success um, that lacks joy. Because everything is revolved around capitalism. making money, spending money, having things
Now
like that.
see, now okay, and to see, I wasn't even thinking of capitalism's diagram of what
Yeah,
success looks like. What they used to consider, well, what they used to use all the time, our piece of the American pie.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
Even that's like, yeah, yeah. Like I think I'm starting to shift my what success looks like in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as I start to think more about, my mom has been dead for like 10 years, 10 plus years. I have not heard one person ever in my life say anything bad about my mom.
Mm.
To me, that is a testament to the legacy she left and the life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to be like, I'm not saying everybody's gonna see me. I'm gonna be the villain in a few stories. Uh,
Baby, you gonna be the villain. You gonna be the villain in their story, and they gonna be a chicken fried bitch in yours. I had to learn that because,
yeah,
baby, I want everybody to like me, girl.
right.
What?
But I do want to leave a legacy of love.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm starting to figure out slowly but surely what that looks like. And
Come on,
uh,
legacy of love.
yeah, how
Gave
I
me chills, girl. Come on through here. Yeah, that's it right there, boom. Yes.
yeah.
I don't want to shake too much because my setup might fall. I gotta be truthful, y'all. You hear me? I'm coming through here, y'all.
Mm,
The legacy of love is excellent. And see what I mean by like what success looks like for me now versus maybe 15 years ago when I had all these big old dreams. Like, and I still do.
yeah.
But success for me means quiet
Mm,
and steady now and consistent and focused. Like I came from a place of where, whew, episode 7, chase and rejection, came from a place to where I felt like I had to chase and chase love, and chase love, and chase love. And so I'll give it all I got. I'll give it my best, but the whole while I'm not growing on the inside. So as I thrust forward, I always fall off because I don't give myself the emotional and mental healing that you actually you need to be successful.
yeah.
To not trip off capitalism, to not trip off how they got the how the system is set up for that. Even when it comes to retiring, so you work 50 years, you retire, $550,000. That's taking 30% of your shit.
Off top.
Now make me understand that capitalism, the way that the systematic, the way it's set up, because so that form of success isn't exciting to me anymore.
Hmm.
I want to be able to sustain financially. I will honestly, I'm not even gonna say it on the show. Mm-mm. That's one of those silence. But yeah, let him. I've learned to like. While it's great to have financial institutions and it helps you build credit. It gives you what do you call it? Collateral, contingent on how you keep your accounts and what you're paying, what's going in, what's coming out. You know, I don't believe I would ever trust them with all of my money. I've
Yeah.
learned because it's like you need to be able to sustain. Success for me means doing what you said you were going to do, no matter what it looks like.
Yeah.
No matter if anybody jumps on it and agrees with you. Because I used to always look for validation.
Mm,
Give a baby, the way I be want to let people know that I don't care, but I'm not. See, that's another thing that goes against me being silent. I don't have to let. All I have to do is live my life, have a clean heart, a clear head, and a clean heart, and especially forgive myself. and remind myself on a daily basis. I give myself pep talks when I wake up in the morning, because I do that often now, to take my own advice. And even with myself, because I go against myself a lot. I can literally say something to myself, and then I hear a voice say, "Bitch, bye." And I look, and I'm like, people may think you crazy, but I don't know if, like, that thing with the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder, like, y'all know that's real, right? Am I the only one that want to admit it? I can admit it. I can admit that I do think out loud. I can admit that in processing things that I talk to myself. And yes, I answer myself too sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta talk to the realest nigga in the room.
Trying to tell you. And I answer myself sometimes too. I'm coming from a place of a person who's lived and walked through her entire life with her emotions on my sleeve, where my kindness has always been taken for weakness. My humbleness has always been taken for a punk pussy ass bitch, because I'm not combative. Fuck with me and I'll show you. I have always been the type of person I'm willing to give you the skin off my arm. Anything. Anything I would do. So it just plays back to my life over the past 15 years, how much I would do to not sit in my own shit, my own mental health, my own. I needed to grow. There's so many things that I know now, and it's from going through and refusing to let the circumstances take me under. So much wasted time. And now with the way I be seeing things, and it's like one day we could be here, God forbid, and we gone tomorrow. And it's like you sit back and you realize I can't get the time back.
Right.
Like every second at this point is precious. That's why when I was going through my motions today of not wanting to get on my class, to up my ante and up my pay grade in my career, that goes against me. That's self-defeating to me. And so, like, why would you not tell you I want to do what's best? I've never learned what it was like until this season of my life to push through in spite of. Push through, Tayan. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't even matter what the fuck it feels like. And that was big for me, because I feel like everything's supposed to feel good. It's supposed to feel good all the time. If it's not, then why are we here?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
See, I got the opposite problem. I push through regardless, and that is not always healthy.
But see, I'm learning how to do it. It's not.
The balance. It
It's a
is.
balance. But see, for me, sis, I would never push through when it
Yeah.
wasn't. I
I
would.
know. I hear what you're saying. I
You
just,
get, sis, I would close off, shut down, quit, walk away, give it
yeah,
up, isolate, fall off, lose everything, crash the whole car, and jump out that bitch.
yeah,
I'm gonna let the car run. I'm finna jump out. I'm finna jump out and roll and be like, okay, God.
yeah. I got really good at like, oh, this is a back of the brain thing. Cool. Back of the brain.
Bye. But then there's only so many things you can push back before it comes forward.
Exactly.
So that's where I was at today. Like, okay, don't sweat the small stuff. Like yesterday was a breeze. I got through it. I was on it. Boop, 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 boop. Excited. Woke up this morning like as we get further along in our podcasting journey, because we'll get better. Season 2 is gonna be excellent. It'll get better. As I move forward in it, I used to wake up on the days of the show, sis, and have bubble guts, baby. I'm talking about anxiety, baby. Trying to find a reason to back out, like any little thing to not do it or not get it done. Now I don't. So now I'm learning to accept that it's okay to be. It's okay, Tayan. It's okay to do it. Like you got it. You're doing it.
Right.
Don't be afraid. Don't care, because don't trip off who catch it or who will like it or who will watch it or who will share it or who will support it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Like that catchphrase, just do it from Nike. Somebody said that and made billions and billions of dollars off of just doing it. I was tripping off this today. Who who came up about the water? I need to look that up tonight. You think I'm playing? It's like my brain just be going. I bring that in the refrigerator, pick one up, to pour it on my little ice in my little cute little glass. And I said to myself, and myself said, I said, self. Myself said, we don't know who created the first packages of bottled waters. Who decided to put water in a bottle? And
Ingredients Corporation.
and they're making billions of dollars off this. I bet you a black person created this.
You never know.
Because we've always been known to be in survival mode. I mean, bottled water. And it's crazy because they're making billions of dollars off bottled waters. Literally, just think of it. Bottled waters. Like, okay. But, and I bet you whoever that person was, and maybe their idea got stolen or maybe not, I could be just jumping. I could be really reaching. Don't get mad at me. Somebody see this a little bit later down the line. I could be reaching.
They'd be like, I know who created bottled water.
I know. I could be reaching. But whoever did it, and if you are sitting out there and you are not getting the credit that you deserve from when it first started, I bet you telling yourself, I should have took my own advice.
I should have bottled that water.
I don't let the fear and the anxiety stop you. Like I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. Like follow me, okay? Follow me here.
Water.
Just going back to something as simple as like when you're trying to create, and you want to leave your legacy. Leaving a legacy of love is imperative. The way people think and feel about you once you're gone is a beautiful thing. Do we want to leave assets and tangible things for our family in moving forward? Like, girl, that's a whole nother show and a whole nother time.
Well, I ain't got no choice. They got to survive the capitalism. I got to leave stuff here for them to do that.
For them to be able to come on. Come on.
Stuff here to help.
Because you're gonna put your kids something up, your kids and grandkids something up in the CD and or a trust, and they're taxing that as well.
Mm-hmm. They're taxing everything.
You're gonna take my money that's already taxed, that because it's taxed because I had to earn it. No, I'm not moving with the cartel, not yet. You know, okay. I'm not. You know, because they might be hiring for, baggy or delivery,
you
know, because the way this economy set up, baby, I'm 2 seconds away.
I could put the labels on the book. I could do that.
And I can do amateur night on Thursday nights at the Big Girl Strip Club. You know, you know what I'm saying? You know, like, so, but to stay morally afloat. Okay. It's just like, what do you do? What do you do? Because in this world where they feel like where houses, like the housing market, houses are not under, I want a nice I'm gonna say a 4-bedroom house is not under the market for under $250K. Not in Houston, Texas. Okay. And I've seen the housing market in Minnesota as well. Mm-hmm. along with Arizona and California. But if you get a house to $10,000, the government want to know where you got it from. Mm-hmm. What is 10 grand in today's world? Is that something to really run a report to the IRS, my guy? Like what? Capitalism. So we definitely have to leave a legacy for our children and leave things for our kids as assets because they have to survive. Capitalism. Mm-hmm. So we like, I don't know, Tiff. Mm-hmm. Now, another thing. Sometimes it can be hard for people to admit that they need advice because it can show signs of inadequacy. Like, it goes back to what you say. It can be an ego thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't like I can feel you giving me this type of advice that goes back to where you said, are you here to vent or are you here for solutions?
Right.
Because when they're in venting mode,
I don't want to hear your advice. Just shut the fuck up and listen.
yeah, yeah. Because when you're in venting mode, you just want them to listen. You don't want no damn advice.
I'll never forget, and this is what made it click for me. Anthony had a car. He had it sitting outside. It was snowing, and it was one of those what they call the damn snow nights. Um,
Um,
where they tow your car if you don't move while they
Snow
plow.
plow,
Yeah, the plow.
plow.
Snow emergencies or whatever the fuck they call them. And you got to park on one side of the street one night, then the other side of the street the other night. He didn't move his car. His car got towed.
And they dug his car up from up under all the snow that the snow plow
Had
had
to return.
plowed.
Yep. So um, he came in and he was mad and whoopty bam. And my default with the boys used to be solution mode. Well, I know you're upset, but this is what happens. Here's what you can do to prevent it next time. Whoopty bam. He was like, okay, mom, sometimes I don't want advice. I
Yeah,
just want to be mad.
I
And
just
I was
want to be mad.
like, damn, okay, my bad, gang.
That be that mom mode. Like always trying, no matter like you don't even like take into accountability. Like in that moment, they're having a human experience.
Like this is a whole person.
This is the whole person having a human experience, and then but you always gonna go into, well, this is what's best, like the rational thinking,
Yep.
like
I used to think it was my job as mom to do that. Like, okay, let's level set, let's
yeah,
reset, let's move forward. No, sometimes I just my favorite meme is I don't want a solution. I just want to be mad.
I just want to be mad. Sometimes they actually have to go through the motions to even gain the wisdom from the experience,
Yep.
and you don't even have to say anything.
Yep.
You don't have
And
to say,
the more I shut the fuck up,
mm,
the more I realize that that is the truth for most people.
yeah.
They don't need your solutions. They don't need your advice. Sometimes they just need to sit with themselves and get there. It's more meaningful when folks get there on their own anyway.
But I will say this, and I don't care if anyone agrees with me or not. If you're asking for advice and it comes from a person who you know that really has your best interest at heart, no backlashing, no side smirking, no judgment. Even in that moment, you may not receive it, but you'll carry it with you as a jewel.
Yeah.
It takes like I'm 41 years old. Oh, baby, no, I'm not, girl. I'm 42. Hello. 42. I just turned 42 August the 1st. It's still my birthday. I'm still accepting the birthday gifts. Anywho, I had a mentor when I came home from prison from this program called Center for Women in Transition. And her name is Almeda Gates. My mentor, I love her to death. But she told me something. What's 2024? This is 2009. That emotions are not reliable. I never got that.
Mm.
I do now. I do now.
The emotion is often surface. Yep.
Emotions ain't shit but self-serving. That's it, and they don't always serve you at its best
Mm.
at all. I had to because I'm an emotional person. I've came to know and learn to love that. That's one of my greatest attributes as a human. The way that I love, the way that I feel, the way that I view the world, how I view the world. And then I had to realize encountering different people, like there's a difference from people being raised up on love and raised up on survival.
Mm.
They're gonna always see the world different. And I used to always think that somehow I could fix them or like that beating heart outside of my own rib cage. I used to always want to save them or
You just need
always
some
feel
love.
just need just a little love.
Face head ass. No.
You know what? No, no. You do need a little love. You need to be tender with yourself. Be kind to yourself.
They may need a little love. Just It ain't always from you.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And I'm okay with that. I used to be
Right.
offended by that. My
Yeah.
feelings used to get hurt. But no, not anymore. Because the same thing that I'm giving to them, I've realized I need to give it to myself. Even the same, even just all of my trauma responses, I've learned not to bleed it off on my kids with the way that I communicate with them. Or we be talking about one thing and then me overthinking, I could bring up something that they don't even want to talk about.
Yeah.
They don't even want to talk about, you know? And and I had to realize it's okay sometimes, Sayana, to sit it out. You can sit the conversation out, Stink. You can sit it out. You don't have to give your opinion,
I
Stink.
swear to God, they don't need to know. Yeah.
They don't need to know, Stink. You don't always have to let your trauma or your anxiety from something else show up
Hmm.
in certain settings, because then that makes people can read you wrong then. And then when they read you wrong, how can you fix it?
Like you can regulate internally.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all you can do is regulate internally. And especially when you in a position where you're in transition and like the people around you that are close to you, it can be a lot. You just literally, I just had to learn. You literally have to just sit and be quiet, handle your business, because you can act when you're going through different stages. You can act out and do certain things that are not even who you really are. It doesn't even serve your personality.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so they will leave people like trying to size you up or trying to judge you or even project. And in certain cases, it can be a place of superiority for them, even though they don't want to admit it.
Right.
It's easy for you to tell somebody what to do when you feel like your status quo is a certain level,
Or that you already know what to do.
or you already know what to do, or you feel like that your assets or what you have that's tangible, houses, cars, clothes, things like that, you feel like you can tell somebody something, but nobody knows the secret demons that you fight because you don't share it.
Right.
You're not doing any work to heal. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's why people can't, you can't measure success with tangible things.
Hmm.
Even though those things are a requirement. A home is a requirement. A reliable vehicle is a requirement. Money saved at this point is a requirement. See, I didn't really trip off of that until I went through Hurricane Burrow.
Yeah.
Okay, Burrow taught me something. Even though when something happens like that, like a natural disaster, it could wipe out all the banks, and then so much can happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then, where does it leave you with your own advice? Like, where does it leave you at then? What do you do then? What do we do then?
I mean, I think it's living with the realization that everything is not in your control. And sometimes you're going to have to adjust and adapt on the fly.
On the fly, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Cause some like 80% of the time, that's how opportunities happen.
Yeah.
That's how blessings come on the fly.
It's something that me and Aunt connect on often is every obstacle isn't a test. Every challenge
Mm.
isn't something sent to destroy you. Sometimes life is just shit.
It can be shit, but I don't believe that every storm is a test, or I don't believe that every challenge is like. I do believe every challenge is setting you up for something greater.
Oh, for sure.
Let me say that. That's what I believe. Every challenge will set you up for something greater if you are mentally and emotionally stable to recognize it.
Yep.
It pisses you off because I was so angry and frustrated with myself today. I just bust out crying. Then after I cried, I was okay. Because I'm frustrated with the pattern that I've set for myself over my life, my 42 years of living, with my everything based off my emotions and contingent on what's going on now in the moment. And then when I feel certain type of ways, I drop the ball on everything that I'm doing.
Right.
Even though I know that by me being older now and my kids are young adults now, I realize that I do have to take the time to reset, be kind to myself. But baby girl, you gotta keep going.
Yeah.
See, I call myself baby girl. Baby girl, you got to keep going. You have to keep going, Miss Mamas, because you're going to be damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right.
So it's like taking my own advice has been vital to whom I'm becoming and where I am at today mentally and emotionally, and like stepping we out here stepping front center on this platform right now, and building it. And then things, they always say great things aren't built overnight. And so I look at people and their success stories, and I look at people when they reach like milestone marks, like to where they want to be with like their career and certain things that they create. People be doing this shit for years.
Yeah. Yep.
It's not a fly by night. It's not. Now, unless you're a content creator, and I was tripping off that last night. I really like how technology has given certain people, like certain content creators, a space to grow
Yeah.
and literally be themselves in a healthy manner.
Yeah.
Because there's so much going on in the universe right now, girl. And I don't know if you be on TikTok,
Mm.
but girl, so many content creators have been getting into it with each other and been bumping heads with each other, and it's really damning to the platform though, because everybody doesn't come. We come for the laughs and the jokes and funny and inspiration. You will lose. They are you're feeding into the negativity, and you're losing followers.
Right.
You're tarnishing
Your brand, your
your
image.
brand, your image, and everything else
Yeah.
by addressing the negativity. Because trolls on the internet are insane. Like, you ever took the time to just read some of the comments and just some of the things people literally type?
Yes, I have.
Like, what? Like you took your time to type that? Like, girl. Well, you guys, I'm not gonna hold you guys any longer. It's been a great episode 6. Take your own advice. I hope you guys took some jewels away. I got something I want to share with you, Slayers, before we go. I just have a little note. Note to self: be firm about your choices right now, in your now. Don't go backwards to habits and situations that weren't helping you evolve. You have to keep reminding yourself why you even decided to move forward. Stay positive about what's to come by being consistent with your change now. That resonated to me. I want you guys to take that and love on yourself a little bit more. Can't do it for yourself, do it for me. Yep, damn it, I said do it for me. Okay? You worth it, I'm worth it. We're coming back in 2 weeks with episode 7. Maybe next week though. I don't know. Depending on what me and Tiff's schedule's looking like and what we got going on. But episode 7 is coming soon. Chasing rejection is the topic. It's gonna be a good one for me. It's gonna be a good one for me. But thank you guys for tuning in and coming and joining us again for another episode of Slayers Redemption Podcast with your girl Prolific Tay and my co-host Tiff. And until next time, we love you. Stay blessed.
Bye.
Slayers Redemption, Chronicles personified, from bondage to breakthrough. Special thanks to this week's sponsors. Find us on our social media page